White Sox postgame show coming to you live from Studio A of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson, alongside me, Herb Lawrence.
Hello.
Our CHGO White Sox community leader. You can follow Herb at EctorWall23. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. You can follow the show at CHGO_White Sox. We'll be later joined in the show by CHGO White Sox beat writer Vinnie Duber, live from Guaranteed Rate Field. We are joining you after two losses today by the Chicago White Sox, swept in a doubleheader. Game 1, a 3-1 victory for the Texas Rangers. In Game 2, a 4-3 victory for the Texas Rangers. The White Sox are now 72 games, Carlton Fisk games, as Jay Corona says, under 500. Southside, sit down, because Travis Jankowski robbing Andrew Vaughn of a game-winning home run in Game 2 really just took the wins out of everything. I'm not mad.
No.
You scared the shit out of me. I was not paying attention. I was not looking at the at-bat. I was just ready for Andrew Vaughn to ground into a double play and the game to be over. And then Herb Lawrence starts screaming.
It was crushed. Andrew Vaughn absolutely crushed that ball. It reminds me of that home run he hit, I think, versus the Rays last year for the walk-off. And I was like, guaranteed home run. But defensive replacement, Travis Jankowski, pulls off what could be said as I think somebody in my comment said, was this the best catch at Guaranteed Rate Field since Dwayne Wise's catch? I'm like, yeah, I don't see one better. As Hawk said in the Dwayne Wise highlight, considering the circumstances where if he doesn't catch that ball, it's game over. That is a huge catch for the Texas Rangers. I haven't seen a better home run robbery this year. And great managing there by Bruce Bochy. Yeah, the Hall of Famer.
Hey, that's why he's a Hall of Famer, baby.
Well, eventually will be. He's
putting in the ski in left field. And
in Chicago, too.
Making a crazy, twisting, turning robbery. Yeah, definitely not the greatest home run robbery in Guaranteed Rate Field history, but top 3.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. I mean, I can't think of a different one besides Wise. I mean, I probably can, but like I can't put a single one.
If there is one, it'll probably be like Kenny Lofton when he was playing with the Cleveland Indians at the time.
Mike
doing
Cameron
it against the White Sox.
Something.
Yeah, somebody else doing it against the White Sox.
There was that guy who played for Minnesota for a bit, Torrey Hunter.
Yeah, and
I can't think of any direct Torrey Comiskey highlights.
Engel had a couple of them back when he was a White Sox, but I don't remember that moment, bottom of the ninth, you don't catch it, it's a game over. You catch it, you keep your team in the game type of thing. It was just unbelievably well played by Travis Jankowski, well timed. And then to catch it at the apex, amazing.
Yeah, incredible play there by Travis Jankowski. Just really taking away any happiness that we could have here tonight. So great. Corey's asking if they could fire Grifol again. I don't think they can, but man, they really should. The White Sox have now lost 6 straight, a new 6-game losing streak, and thankfully they beat the Giants, because since their win against the Astros, which feels like months ago, it was just weeks ago, but
like 2 Fridays ago.
No, August 16th. They have what? They're 1-10. So I mean, since that Astro series, they're 2-10.
History!
Oh, we're so close to history, Sarah. And you should have played that with the Dwayne Wise catch. You're right there.
Theoretically, they could break their own record with the losses in a row.
Oh yeah. Hey, I mean, they could just keep losing. I mean, they could break their own record of most losses in a season. You look at what Bennett Carroll put out at the Bennett Carroll, the update on what the White Sox look right now, going towards the most losses in Major League Baseball history in a single season. The White Sox are now 31-103. That's a 23.1% win percentage. They are now on pace for 37.48 wins. So even if they, only win, if they only win 38 games, the 161st game will be the actual record setter. So if they don't lose, if they don't win 161, they'll break their record again.
Yeah.
They are now on pace for 37.48 wins, 8-20. A 28% win percentage gives them the fewest wins in MLB expansion era. 9-19, a 32% win percentage gives them the worst winning percentage in expansion era. And 11-17, a 39% win percentage will be the worst record in the 21st century. So they need to go 12-16 to avoid the most losses in an MLB season. You think they're going to do it, Herb?
I mean,
Can they win 5 games? Can they win more than they did in 2020?
I'm looking at the schedule right now. Like, tomorrow, they're probably going to lose to the Texas Rangers again.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know who's pitching for the White Sox because it is undetermined because of this whole situation with Garrett Crochet yesterday. Today, you get the Chris Flexen and then a bullpen game today. And then the weekend is versus a team that actually has a chance to make the playoffs in the 9 Mets. They're not going to come with anything less than domination. And my guy, I think Jose Quintana gets the pitch this weekend too. So I'll be cheering for him this whole weekend. Goddamn right.
They got Baltimore, they got Boston,
my Jesus,
and they got Cleveland. I know they've done all right against Cleveland, but up until the 11th, I mean, there might not be another win until Friday, September 13th.
Yeah, so that's, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 games, 10, 11, 12 games versus teams that are in the playoffs or in the playoff hunt in a row after this Texas series. And Texas is better than them. They're the reigning champions.
Yeah, so what? If they lose the next 12 games, they would need to go 11-5 to not be the worst team in the history of baseball.
And then
3 games against Oakland, 3 games against Los Angeles, 3 games against San Diego, 3 against the Angels again, and then 3 against Detroit.
Yeah, that's when the schedule kind of downshifts with only the Padres and are kind of part of the playoff hunt right there. Every other team in that cluster to finish the season is an easy win, but we know the White Sox. All those teams are looking at the White Sox saying, man, let's get our fork and knife ready. Got that Luger's, put it on the White Sox, I'm going to eat. Because, man, that's just an embarrassing season, but at least they gave us a thrill today. I mean, the Lenyn Sosa game will go down in history today.
No,
it will go down. I will remember it because, man.
I mean, it's like what Vinny said, and not everything's historic. You got to put context. Lenyn Sosa had a horrible game.
Yes.
And he had a horrible game for a horrible team. He just played exactly what the uniform looks like. And he lived up to the uniform.
Speaking of our Vinnie Duber, he just sent out a text or a tweet that says that Sox will recall and bring up Nick Nastrini. He'll start tomorrow afternoon's game.
Cool. All right, well, we'll ask Vinny about that after the game. We'll see if Grady Sizemore had anything specific on Nastrini. I know he's made some changes in his delivery, so maybe we see a little cleaner of a Nick Nastrini outing, maybe not 8+ walks. As long as he doesn't walk double-digit guys, I think we'll be all right, Herb. But you bring up the Lenyn Sosa game in Game 2. Starts in the top of the 4th inning where there's a ball hit up the middle. Sosa and Lopez converge on it. It's right up the middle, like right over the second base bag.
Mm-hmm.
Sosa doesn't get after it. Lopez doesn't get after it. It goes into center field for a single. And then there's the fielder's choice that Sosa tries to tag the runner going to second and then bobbles the throw
to first base.
The very next play, he was able to get the guy at first base at least.
He didn't.
No?
He dribbled the ball. The guy made it. It was a fielder's choice.
It's a 3-run homer.
Yeah. It was a fielder's choice, and he messed it up. And like you said, Langford, the batter after that, hit a 3-run homer off of, I think, Peralta at the time, and who gets charged with those 3 runs. But we saw Lenyn Sosa had a terrible half inning. We thought that was all right. Erase it. You're good, Lenny. Because later on in the game, RBI tie single. I mean, he was like, all right, here we go, Lenyn Sosa. You've erased what you did in the field. You come up in a clutch situation. You get that tying RBI single. All right, erase what you did. Don't take that fielding stuff to the plate, which he was good in that inning. And
then what happens?
Then Lenyn Sosa in the 7th inning. This is the 7th inning, bottom of the 7th inning, into the top of the 8th inning. Lenyn Sosa pops the ball up in the 7th inning. It's pretty much straight up, and he just looks at it. Instead of running, looks at it.
With runners on first and second.
Yeah, and he gets interfered with or interferes with the catcher. The umpire calls it immediately. He's out. The inning is over. Then in between half innings, between the bottom of the 7th and the top of the 8th inning, the catcher throws down to second base at the end of the warm-up tosses for his pitcher, and Lenyn Sosa is at second base, but not paying attention to the catcher at all. Chucky Robinson throws a ball and hits Lenyn Sosa square in the nose. It wasn't fast, but it was a Major League Baseball probably thrown at 60, 70 miles per hour right in the nose, and he crumbles to the ground as he should. And so, I don't know. Is his head not in the game? Because the miscommunication already with Lopez. The next play, the interference in the 7th, and then right after that, he gets that ball hit right in his face. Like, to me, it's not by happenstance he's just having a bad day. To me, his head wasn't in the game literally. Like, he wasn't paying attention. And I understand people like, well, they're 72 games below 500. It's the end of the year. What do you expect him? I expect him to be a professional. I expect his head to be in the game. I expect baseball IQ to still overtake bad baseball, in parts where you can't control it. You could control your mental. You control your focus. And it seems like the focus for Lenyn Sosa was off today. And then the 9th inning, he got slidered to death, and he swung at every single one of them and then popped it up to end the game with bases loaded.
Yeah, cherry on top, you make the final out. Congratulations. White Sox Tom saying he should be benched. I don't really care. I got to be honest. Like, I get your point. You want people to be have their head in the game. On Sunday, he was pretty decent at second base. Yeah. Was, looking alive out there. Had the ball that glanced off Vaughn. He was able to be there, makes the play, picks it up, throws the guy out at first. And then he has that nice ranging play where he catches the bloop single. I mean, what, you going to play Jacob Amaya, who's got like a career 720 OPS plus in the PCL for like 3 entire seasons in AAA? Like, there's nobody really that you're going to like put in over him. I don't really care to bench him, but also it just shows that A, Lenyn's fairly bad and not worth a roster spot in 2025. And then B, it just proves he's been bad at shortstop. He's been bad at third base. You're at a easier position at second base, and you're just not fully there. It doesn't seem like he's going to be a glove guy in any certain way at any certain position. Doesn't seem like he's ever going to really unlock that hitting power that we see at AAA. Just seems like he's kind of a dud. I don't know. We don't need to bench him. We don't need to, make any grand ideas over Lenyn Sosa. I think he's just a bad baseball player.
Yeah,
I think this entire White Sox team is full of 26 bad baseball players.
Somebody brought it up today and said Chris Getz got a bunch of Chris Getzes. Yeah. And that's not good because Chris Getz was a terrible baseball player.
Yes, sir.
So, you got 26 Chris Getz, and then somebody else brought it up. I want to give people credit because
you got 13 Brian Bannisters and 13 Chris Getz.
Yeah, and he said the people they brought in for the bullpen, that there's none.
Well, that's a good thing. Yeah, no, I got the exact thing for you.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in just a second. We'll take a break, and we'll let you know about some of our great sponsors. But then we'll get to all of the bullpen people that started with the White Sox on opening day that are just no longer here. Very fun. All right, so let's take a break, and we'll talk about the depleted bullpen in a sec.
Shop Ray Chevy and secure the right new Chevy and the price for you. That's because their new car clearance event is going on all month long. And you can shop their huge selection of new Chevrolet models now at new low prices. Visit our partner this August at their location on Route 12 in Fox Lake or at raychevrolet.com. As one of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories. Right now, get 0% financing, make 0 payments until 2025, put $0 down, and find 0 hidden fees on all new Chevrolet models. Or cruise into August with your own way to shop over 125 of their vehicles priced under $20,000. Holy hell. Car prices now are so expensive. You can get 125 of their cars priced under $20,000. Boom. Only at Ray Chevrolet. And you've heard the Ray Chevrolet. Then you've also heard of Ray's Price Promise. They're guaranteed to make your next vehicle more affordable than ever with no price changing, no add-ons, no hidden fees ever. That means incredible prices we're talking about will be there when you get to the Ray Chevrolet dealership in store or online. Shop the new car clearance event all month long by visiting Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive.
And we also want to let you know about our friends over at Mint Mobile. You know when you discover a new binge-worthy TV show or a song that you bump on repeat and you have to share it with your friends, it's the exact opposite feeling of watching White Sox baseball. But it's exactly similar to when you discover Mint Mobile. It offers a fabulous wireless plan for $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. It's such an awesome deal that there's no way that you can keep it to yourself. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you and your squad with premium wireless plans starting at $15 a month. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. And you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with your existing contacts. So ditch overpriced wireless with Mint Mobile's deal and get 3 months of premium wireless service for $15 a month. To get this new customer offer and your 3-month premium wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/White Sox. That's mintmobile.com/White Sox. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/White Sox. $45 upfront payment required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customers on first 3 plan only. Speed slower above 40 gigabits on unlimited plan. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. I don't think I should be too upset about the state of the White Sox bullpen. There was a tweet I put out back in November about all the guys that they could cut off of the 40-man, and it's a lot of the guys that, hey, are doing pretty well on different teams. One of those specifically is Declan Cronin. One of those guys is also Romy Gonzalez. So 2 of the guys that I threw out there, probably the wrong choice there. Everyone else, you can leave them. But Jim Margulis over at Sox Machine talked about the White Sox opening day roster and how none of the relievers are even on the team anymore. Tanner Banks, he's been traded. John Brebbia, he's been DFA'd. Davy Garcia, he's DFA'd and outrighted in May. He's still with Charlotte, but has not come back up with the White Sox since. Tim Hill's been DFA'd.
And good now.
Yeah. Michael Kopech has been traded. Jordan Leisure is injured. Dominic Leone is injured. Brian Shaw, unfortunately, was DFA'd in April. And Steven Wilson is injured and bad. But that is what you were alluding to earlier, is that, Chris Getz and Brian Bannister, when reshaping and remodeling this team, they tried to fix the bullpen. And man, that bullpen is just one single Justin Anderson thread from just popping and just completely busting open. I guess most people probably think that it's likely busted open already, but I got to get a Justin Anderson joke in there. I think disappointment is obviously the clear word.
Yep.
With all those guys not coming to fruition. The Tanner Banks one isn't too disappointing because obviously he was traded, and I don't think many people thought he would even be a trade value or trade piece at that point. But even then, Kopech leaves a sour taste in my mouth because you just didn't get anything for him. What do you make of all the relievers that were on the opening day roster that are no longer here?
They really, as you were just talking about, Tanner Banks is probably the crown jewel of the White Sox bullpen this year. You got something for him. Everything else, not getting anything from Michael Kopech, which we knew that as soon as Michael Kopech left here, people would put a spotlight on him and say, oh, man, he's improved. That I think you've pointed out that he was improved his last 5 games with the White Sox at least. And so he just continued the things that he was doing here with the White Sox out there with the LA Dodgers. But you got nothing for that live arm, and years to go the Dodgers have Michael Kopech for, so in a cheap deal. So you get rid of Declan Cronin, which in the grand scheme really means nothing, but he's a young arm that the White Sox got rid of to, I forgot who they rostered instead of Declan Cronin. They had to have the 40-man spot, and they're like, oh, Declan Cronin, get the hell off of my team type of stuff. Those are the type of things that I don't like.
Tim Hill.
Exactly. A guy that eventually you just DFA'd, and then he went to Tim Hill, went to the Yankees, and he's a trusted member of their bullpen. So, yeah, it's been bad. And I knew things like this could happen because of Chris Getz's relative inexperience and what he did before. He pretty much had a bad job as a White Sox farm director, and now as the general manager, I like the kind of moves that he did where he's not paying big-time bucks for these people. Like Brebbia was the big-time expenditure in the bullpen, and that wasn't anything that was breaking the bank. But you should be getting young, fresh arms up here to the bullpen and not spending money on these guys. But now, since the beginning of the year, none of those guys are in your bullpen anymore. That's amazing. And they've been all bad with the White Sox. And then once they leave the White Sox, oh, shit, I can pitch? Oh, this is how you do it? Declan Cronin, I don't know how well he's doing in Miami, but he's still in Miami.
I don't feel like he's given up a homer this year.
Yeah.
I think he's like one of the only guys like with
doesn't
like,
give up a home
in Major
run?
League history in like 60 innings.
And he's
60
on
plus
a
innings.
terrible team.
Yeah.
Marlins are terrible too. So like,
My guy.
like it's a rebuilding year for him too. Chris Getz. So it's a bad year for him, and I hope that he learns from this because he's not going a damn place. I hope he's not stubborn and still does the same things next year for this bullpen, because one of the things that the White Sox have struggled with mightily, like the worst thing I think on this White Sox team, is not their defense, it's not their offense, not their starting pitcher, it's the bullpen. And they need to improve that by a lot, but not going out and signing a bunch of players like it was suggested the other day, I think, on the broadcast. Absolutely not. Like, you just got to find people that Brian Bannister and Ethan Katz can mold into the type of pitchers they need to be and not break the bank. And I think they have enough arms down in the minor leagues where they can have a semi-passable bullpen. This year, these guys couldn't, like, this bullpen could not be any worse.
Yeah, and Drake, mentioning our guy Bubba, Hoopy Tuanatua down there.
I still remember his name.
I
Goddamn.
I think I did. I could easily be mispronouncing his name wrong. But they got a ton of guys right now in Birmingham, Charlotte. I know Birmingham and Kannapolis specifically are doing pretty well. So there'll be some playoff baseball that they got to save them for. But I mean, once those seasons are wrapped up, I wouldn't be surprised to see some of these Birmingham guys in the Sox bullpen.
Joseph Gotti says, I wouldn't say that. He's referring to Michael Kopech getting nothing from Michael Kopech. You got nothing from Michael Kopech. That was a throw in.
I was going to bring that up.
Yeah.
He's saying, and that we got Miguel Vargas. You got Miguel Vargas, and Miguel Vargas is just Martin Maldonado reborn. In his 69 at-bats, nice, a 101 batting average.
Oof.
At least in today's game, 7 at-bats. He got 1 hit, so he's 1 for 7 with a walk. So there you go. Way to get on base twice, Miguel Vargas. Woohoo!
He's young, though. Remember, he's only 25.
Mm-hmm. And I'm only 27, so I can, light up right field for the White Sox in 2025. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We got over 60 people watching, so make sure you are giving us your thoughts on the White Sox. Let's head out to Guaranteed Rate Field and talk with our CHGO White Sox beat writer, Vinnie Duber. Hi, Vinnie.
Hi, guys.
What'd you make of that catch?
I mean, it's one of the best catches I've ever seen. I'm sure it's one of the best catches you've ever seen, and I think it's probably one of the best catches anybody's ever seen. It was outstanding. It was outrageous. It was just, man, you look up the web gem in the dictionary, and that's what you're going to see next to it. That was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we brought up the Dwayne Wise one, but I don't think there's another robbery that came to mind of great catches at Guaranteed Rate Field. So Travis Jankowski adding himself to the lore. What has Grady Sizemore's reaction been? They're 2-10 in their last 12 games, and I think when he first came over and first started as interim manager, he was probably like, oh, gee shucks, I got the world ahead of me. And now I think it's probably sinking in on him that this is a 103 loss team only heading for infamy.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly has seemed that way the last few days as they've just lost more. Tonight he said, I believe the exact quote was, "We're being tested right now." Just kind of a window into his frustration. And especially on a night like tonight, I mean, you see Andrew Vaughn do what the White Sox have done so rarely this season and come up with a big hit. And it can't be a hit because of a 1 in a million excellent catch. I think Grady's just standing there shaking his head. He said he can't really even believe it. And you're right. The smile that was there and the whole, hey, well, at least we had a great effort tonight and great energy kind of thing has been replaced by, a little bit more somber demeanor after some of these losses here of late.
On the positive note for the day, you got a great, put in quotes, start from Chris Flexen after a tough first inning. He settled in and only gave up 3 earned runs in 6 1/3 innings. What did Chris had to say about what was working this afternoon versus the Texas Rangers?
Well, if you've listened to me sum up Chris Flexen post-game media sessions this year, you'll know what's coming. He was not happy because they lost. He was not happy because he gave up one of the runs that ended up costing them the game, and he was not happy about it. He used some profanity, as a matter of fact. And so, yes, this was one of the better outings that I can remember seeing from Chris Flexen this season. And yet the attitude after it was one of defeat and one of despair, even because of what the result was. And some guys are like that, and that's fine. They're competitors. That's not entirely unexpected. But yeah, if you were looking for a great breakdown of his what I thought was a great day for him, he was not willing to offer that up because of what the end result was.
This is why I always look at wins and losses with a John Desai, because that man pitched well today, and he gets another loss. He's only got 2 on the year, the 2 Tampa Bay wins. And the team, I think, in his appearances are like 2-24 or something like that. Really bad.
You can get jaundice in your eyes?
No, I look at him with a jaundiced eye. It's just a phrase.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
You've never heard of it? You look at a person with a jaundiced eye?
Vin?
Yeah, I mean, I get what Herb is saying. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Just checking. Hey, I learn something new every day. Yeah, I don't even know where to go with this team. I mean, I hear you. I mean, again, like, you really can't get an idea of what a pitcher is on this team just because they can't score. They also can't play defense with them. I guess that leads us into Lenyn Sosa's rough game 2.
Jesus Christ.
I doubt Lenyn Sosa talks after a game like
He
that.
did.
Oh, he did.
Stand-up guy.
I mean, what did Lenyn Sosa have to say after that game?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. I mean, we were basically running through a play-by-play of the game, asking him about what happened, and it was all stuff that went wrong. Let's not forget, first of all, if you want to start with good news, that he had the hit that tied the game. He drove in the game-tying run with a 2-out base hit. So good work there. But everything else was very, very bad for Lenyn Sosa today. You'll remember the play on which him and Nicky Lopez converge, and the ball goes right through him. Brady Sizemore said the communication needs to be better there. The very next play was the attempt to tag the runner going from first to second. He misses the tag, and then he drops the ball and can't make a throw to first. He said he was trying to rush it, and that's what happened, and that was apparent. And then, obviously, you have the batter interference call when he hits the pop-up there and doesn't get out of the way. He said he assumed that he hit a foul ball and that there was not going to be a play, and there very much was a play and in fair territory. Not only did he make contact, but he didn't really move at all, and so that was an easy call for the home plate umpire, as you saw there. And then right after that happens, that ended the inning, and then right after that happens, he gets hit in the face when Chucky Robinson makes the regular routine throw down to second base to get ready for the start of the inning. There was a little bit of delay while he was getting looked at. He said he's fine, but yeah, and I think Grady said that the bill of the hat took the brunt of it, but that could have knocked him out of the game if it hadn't. But yeah, just a really ugly day. And then I think, to throw one more in there, he had to get called off at the last minute on a pop-up in shallow center there by Luis Robert Jr. He's the guy who makes the final out of the game with the bases loaded after Travis Jankowski kind of sucked the momentum out of the White Sox there. But yeah, that is about as ugly as a game as you're going to see from one individual player. Not only bad plays, but plays that end up changing the whole look of the game, because those 2 defensive plays that I started talking about came ahead of a 3-run homer. So, just a really poor day for Lenyn Sosa. I think the White Sox are kind of happy with him in general, but as I look ahead, I don't think this is a guy that you pencil in for a lot of playing time next year. He's I know been described by you guys and by plenty of others as kind of a quad A guy, and we have just really not seen him succeed in any facet really at the major league level.
Absolutely, and I don't think Grady, just by the way you're talking, gave you any insight into this, but some people were wondering if this is going to affect Sosa's playing time. He did play in both legs of the doubleheader today, so maybe we don't see Sosa tomorrow for those reasons. But do you get the sense that Sizemore is a punitive person at all? Like, oh, Sosa made these mistakes in game 2, so we have to show him by benching him.
Not really. No, I mean, listen, obviously Grady said that the communication needs to be better there, but half of that play is Nicky Lopez, who is a veteran and a guy with a great defensive reputation. So, that was really the only kind of criticism made by by Grady. I even asked kind of what they think about Leneen's defense overall, and he was complimentary about it. So I think that, I don't see that changing very much. Grady's got the roster he's got, and obviously Nicky and Brooks Baldwin are going to be heavily featured in terms of that middle infield situation. But I don't think Leneen Sosa is going to just be written off or given the Nick Senzel treatment. Remember though that they do have Jake Amaya, who they just picked up, so maybe they do want to get a look at him at some point, but they haven't so far.
All right, it's a good time to take a break now. I've put on my Shady Rays, so let's let you know about our good friends over at Shady Rays. Get ready for the season ahead with our quality shades built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered with premium polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company offering a world-class product rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Their shades have durable frames and crystal clear optics, making them the perfect choice for all outdoor adventures. They have hundreds of options to choose from, so you're bound to find the perfect pair to match your style. I love my Shady Rays when I'm driving, when I'm walking around this bright, sunny city, when I'm hiking. And I never do that, but if I was to hike, I'd wear my Shady Rays.
Vinny hikes.
Vinny hikes. He wears his Shady Rays, and if your shades ever go missing or take an unexpected hit, don't sweat it. They have the most insane protection program, and I have on all of eyewear. Every pair is backed by lost or broken replacements. If you don't love your shades, you can also exchange them for a new pair or return worry-free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. Their team always has your back with personal and fast support. And exclusively for our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal of the season. Head to shadyrays.com and use code CHGO for 35% off polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Again, head to shadyrays.com and use code CHGO for 35% off polarized sunglasses.
You're just watching us for the first time here on CHGO White Sox. We appreciate you on Roku or on YouTube or just listening on your favorite podcast platform. But we do 5 days a week here on CHGO White Sox. Cubs do the same, Bears, Blackhawks, and Bulls. We got you covered on each and one of the teams. We even have Sky, Red Stars, and Fire Post here. And also our the 85 with Cole Kmet.
Yes, sir.
So we got podcasts and shows every day on every team. Post-game shows like you're watching and or listening right now. Premium written content from members at allchgo.com from gentlemen like Vinnie Duber. But we want you to become a diehard member because with the diehard membership, you get so much. When you first get the diehard membership, you get your choice of a free t-shirt. The one I have on right now with a 16-bit Walter Payton. You get a free t-shirt, either this one or the ones that we wear all the time here on this set. You also get this stylish box with a membership card, stickers, etc. Access to our CHGO Discord, which we call the CHGO Lounge, with some of the people who are frequent our CHGO Discord, like Melissa Sage Bolenbach, Jarrett CWS, are in the house right now. Peter Fonseca in the house too. So I think it pays for itself immediately because then also you get 20% off of merch in the future. 20% off of all events. So the event you have coming up, pretty much new one that's coming up is CHGO Fire. They're taking over Soldier Field this week, August 31st. You can go and see Messi, maybe, if he plays, and the Chicago Fire this week, August 31st. Tailgate made up with Jason Derulo in the post-game concert, and you get a free Chicago Fire shirt from CHGO. It pays for itself. I think the tickets are only $40. So you get a t-shirt that is, I think, valued at $35. You're paying $40, and you get to see a soccer game. Then you get to see Jason Derulo do things. And we have
he's in the room with that impersonation.
That CHGO Bears are having their tailgates all year long. So you can get a CHGO Bears tailgate season pass if you want, or you could just buy a single one. Our first one coming up is September 8th for opening day, Bears versus the Texans, I believe it is. Come on out. It's one of the best times in the world. I've been to most of these CHGO Bears tailgates, and they are fun as hell. Dope merch for all teams, free t-shirt when you become a member, and members-only Discord access, the CHGO Lounge. Become a diehard right damn now.
Thank you, Herb. Vinny, let's go to tomorrow. The White Sox will try to avoid their 9th straight loss. What is this?
It'll be 7th straight loss.
7th straight loss. Their 13th loss in 15 games. What could you tell us about tomorrow's starting pitcher?
It will be Nick Nastrini. He is going to be coming back up from the minor leagues, and he is going to be making the start tomorrow. As we saw with Kai Busch, I suppose, there's no way of telling how long Nick Nastrini might be here, but he is going to start tomorrow against the Texas Rangers.
And there was some talk about Nastrini, obviously started with the Sox on opening day, or no? Was it opening day?
No, a couple weeks after.
Okay, a little bit after.
The Braves, I believe.
But his results weren't great. An 8.39 ERA, and most importantly, 25 walks to 19 strikeouts. Those walks have still been there in Charlotte, 46 walks to 90 strikeouts. But it seems like he's made an adjustment going back to July, cleaning up his mechanics a little bit. You've seen less walks from him, and obviously that has led to him being a better pitcher and them giving him a shot to try to prove himself at the major league level again. In his last 4 starts, a 2.45 ERA for Nick Nastrini, and most importantly, 6 walks, 18 strikeouts. At Not Cease had a video of a side-by-side of Nastrini at the major league level and then Nastrini recently in Charlotte, and Nastrini has talked about a mechanic adjustment that he's made. He's a little quiet. He's quieter in his back foot, so a little less dancing, and I think it's just giving a more repeatable mechanic, repeatable delivery, and hopefully that just leads to him finding the strike zone. It'll be interesting to see what Nastrini actually looks like when he can find the strike zone. Herb, I don't know if you have any high expectations, if this is just a guy that, is just getting some work in. What are you looking for specifically with Nastrini? 6+ walks?
I want him to battle and test these Texas Rangers. It's the team that be the toughest to do that because the top of their lineup is Simeon and then Seager. So people who are ready to hit immediately in the door. So he'll be tested if he wants to attack these guys on first pitch, as we talked about earlier. Corey Seager, I think he has one of the best first pitch batting averages in the league. And his RBI single to win this game was a first pitch that was just up in the air forever, which he thought he missed it. But I'm just looking for him to attack these Texas Rangers hitters because the result of the game doesn't matter for any of these White Sox. I know they all want to compete and they all want to throw up zeros and such like that. It doesn't matter. Tomorrow is about locating your fastball and all the rest of your pitches where you want to throw them. If the Texas Rangers go out and pummel you, cool, smooth. At least you know where you're at in the league. The walks thing to me is you don't have command and control of your ball, and or you don't want to pitch the ball over where you need to because you're afraid to get hit. And so if he's cleaned up his mechanics and he's got a 2-to-1 in the AAA strikeouts to walks, that's a little bit better than what he was at the major league level earlier in the year. And tomorrow just is a big test, I think, for him to see what he's learned from AAA and if he can apply it to the majors. Because we saw what Jonathan Cannon early in the year was kind of lost early with the White Sox, went down to AAA, refined some things, came back up, and now he looks like a member of the 2025 rotation. Nastrini could be auditioning himself for a 2025 starting rotation spot by these last couple starts. If this is his only start, he needs to go out and do his thing.
Yeah, fingers crossed, looking start by start. 2 walks, 5 walks, 6 walks, 4 walks, 3 walks, and 5 walks for Nick Nastrini. That is by start in the major league level. So hopefully, it's like his first start against Kansas City where it's 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. I think everyone would take that. A nice 5 innings for Nick Nastrini. Vinny, I do want to get your thoughts on just it's a doubleheader, so obviously it's going to be a little weird when you're resuming a game, but it really did look like there was 70 people. I think people tried to count the exact amount of people that were there for first pitch at game 1. Did it feel at any point like the crowd filled out? Could you talk a little bit about the crowd today and how the maybe fans trickled in? Was it more just game 2? There were more fans. Was game 1 pretty thin? What was your view?
Yeah, there's nobody here for that first game. I mean, it felt like the COVID season. I mean, it was so quiet. You could hear the cars on the Ryan going by. I mean, seriously, and I'm not trying to slam the team or anything like that. Like it's a makeup of a rain out on a Wednesday afternoon. I mean, I don't think you should have expected anybody to be here, but it is still a jarring thing when you're at a Major League Baseball game and there is next to nobody in the stands. And then as you got on to game two, closer to, and then once game two started, there was the kind of crowd that was going to be here anyway, which was also pretty paltry. But again, it's Wednesday night. School has started here in the city of Chicago, and these two teams are not very good. One of them is very, very not good, and I don't know what necessarily if anybody would have expected anything different. But yeah, that first thing, like I said, it was reminiscent of being here in 2020 when the only people in the stands were cardboard cutouts.
Yeah, they don't have attendance officially for the first game. But
They had official attendance for the day, which was given as just over 11,000. But I don't think there were 11,000 people here for game two either.
Not at all. And it's just disappointing, but understand, as you said, Vinny, the guy who did start game two, it was good to see him again. Matt Foster getting the 2 innings in the opener role today, and then immediately, I think, sent back down to the minor leagues because he's the 27th man. But it's good to see him, Davis Martin, both these guys had Tommy John surgery last year, and so them working himself back into both Davis Martin the starting rotation and Matt Foster into the more reliever role, that will improve the bullpen that we were talking about, Sean, as far as all those pieces being missed from beginning of the season. I think a solid piece like Matt Foster will give the White Sox a little bit more stability in their bullpen going forward. But it was good to see him. Did he have to say something about his long road back from 2003, Tommy John surgery, and then getting back on the bump today?
That's a long road. 2003.
2023, my bad.
Man.
He barely was alive, probably.
Oasis was still around. They didn't even break up. He still got 6 years.
We did not talk to Matt Foster about his 2-decade recovery from Tommy John surgery, but yeah, listen, I mean, we'll see, right? I mean, relievers are so up and down. I mean, this is a guy maybe that can help them become a little bit closer to what a major league bullpen is supposed to look like next year, or maybe not, because I think when we saw him out there, the first thing that came to my mind, I think I even said this out loud, was, wow, remember when he was really good for like a month and a half? And you go back to, I went back to look at the numbers, and in 2022, first month and a half of the season, he barely gave up any runs. I think he had a .6 ERA or something like that. And then it jumped up pretty quick. And by the middle of the summer, that ERA was up around 5 or 6. I mean, so, these relievers can be streaky, and relievers can be streaky from year to year, right? I mean, they can have a great year one year, and then they can be awful the next, and then great again the year after that. So you really never know what you're going to get. But, hey, this is a team that is looking for absolutely anything in terms of not just the entire roster, but certainly the bullpen as well. So he shows up to spring training next year and looks like the good version of himself. There's no reason he can't be a featured player in that bullpen.
When you did see him, was he slowly walking down the hall, faster than a cannonball?
Quoting Oasis now? Okay, all right. Speaking of that bullpen and the up and down, there's a nice streak going with Gus Varland. He is not allowed a run as a Chicago White Sox. I don't think you think I was going to be asking you about Augustus James Varland, but here we go. You got anything on Augustus James Varland, Vinny?
That's his name?
Yeah, full name.
I think I have a better chance right now of recognizing him if he came up and hit me in the face, which I don't think I could have done 3 or 4 days ago. So I got that going for me. That's what I got to give you on Gus Varland. How about that?
That's fine. Honestly, I wasn't expecting much. But here's Gus Varland with the Chicago White Sox, not allowing a run in 5 appearances. We'll see if he turns into anything. All right, I can feel this show on its last limbs. So, yep. Vinny, I think the only thing I have to ask you is this team destined for 120 losses? Because it really does feel like, I mean, someone brought up they need 11 wins to tie the 62 Mets. They need to go 11-17 to tie the Mets, and that's a 40% win record. Right now, their win percentage at 23. I know we've talked about this a lot, but I mean, is there any hope that they avoid the 62 Mets?
I mean, at this point, I'm not even sure if there's going to be any drama around it, right? I mean, I think, certainly they could go 11-17, but they have not showed me anything, not just over the entire second half to this point, but even lately, even after getting that little bit of an energy boost or whatever you want to call it from the managerial switch. the wins have not come in any sort of fashion, right? So I don't think there's anything that they've done that would lead you to believe that they weren't going to match or then break that modern record, because they lose all the time. And unless they do, at this point, them going 11-17 would count as a surprise. And this is baseball. This is sports. Surprises happen all the time. So you can't say it's not going to happen. But they have not shown anything to this point or of late that would indicate that they are going to lose fewer than 120 games.
Yeah, and I know the other day when you guys asked Andrew Benintendi about the 100 loss, he's kind of miffed or kind of, I'm tired of answering these questions type of thing. But I would think that these guys would be tired of losing. Like, I'm sure they are, and I'm not sure what a person and a player can do to not be the worst team in baseball when you're going straight into it. But, man, if I saw that all I had to do was win 11 games for the last, 28 games of the season, that would be my focus. That would be my sole focus, because last thing I want to be is the worst team in baseball history. Part of that.
Yeah, but the issue is they play with 25 of the worst players in Major League history. Yeah. I mean, you can have your one-person motivation, but when just the 25 other players aren't talented, what are you going to do?
Hey, man, sometimes you just, they got the A's on the schedule. They got Detroit on the schedule, who,
the A's have been good, Herb.
They have, but
that's only 6 wins, too. They got to get 5 more.
Hey, man, find a win in each one of these goddamn series. Man. Just get swept by Texas, getting swept by Detroit, getting beat by teams that are good but not great. Like, this Texas team is fine but not great. They should find a win.
This Texas team is bad.
Yeah.
They are like they came in here, 10, 11 games under 500.
Yeah, they're not going to be repeating. I can mark that down as 100%. But it's just sometimes with the Lenine game today, I think more of it was lack of focus. And I know you can get that way if you're 72 games below 500, but something's got to be like, let's play the string out like this is our World Series, because it is. In October, we'll be all in Cancun. And the thing is, people who are watching, listening, will be like, yeah, you guys were part of the worst team in baseball history, and you don't want that scarlet letter on your resume for the rest of your career.
You sound like Pedro.
Hey, man.
This is on you.
It will. It will be.
Take batting practice every day.
Pedro's like, hey, man, I didn't lose 100 games. Hey, that was Grady who lost the 100th game. That was all y'all.
I didn't even get to 200 career losses.
That ain't me. Y'all suck. It's like Dan Orlovsky. When you bring his name up, I think of 0-16.
Mm-hmm. As you should.
And that's what's going to happen with these 24 White Sox.
We are the 2008 Lions. How fun. Wow. That's a fun way to put it.
And they had They had Calvin Johnson in their team.
Yeah. We have Luis Robert. There we go. Or Garrett Crochet. Maybe Garrett Crochet is our Megatron.
There it is.
Anyway, so that's going to do it. Oh, well, actually, let me ask you about Garrett Crochet. What's up with Crochet? Is he just going to be on 5 days rest and we're going to see him next week?
Certainly seems that way. Yeah. I think at this point, I'm under the impression we're going to see him every 5 days for the rest of the year. I think that's very important to Garrett. I think that's what they want to do with him. Obviously, things can change if there's some sort of negative physical thing that pops up, but there hasn't been that all year long with this guy. And so I definitely think that whether you want to do it now or you want to wait till the end of the year, there's definitely some appreciation due to this guy, not just being able to become a starting pitcher in the major leagues after what he did, but answer all the questions. We were wondering, is he going to even be able to make it 2 months? Is he even going to be able to do any of this? He's maybe going to start 30-plus games and make it all the way to the end of the year. So like I said, some appreciation due to this guy, and I don't think we're going to see a shutdown at all.
And I would tell people to go check out your article at allchgo.com, but we currently are having another critical error message on our website. So fun and whippy.
But the people watching and or listening tomorrow.
Yeah, just keep clicking refresh.
I think people can go read it still. I think that's for us who are signed in.
I tried to click the link, and it was not working.
Keep clicking.
Go test Vinny's link right now.
Got a little bit more color in there with some quotes from some people.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm sure the White Sox are happy that he only pitched 4 pitches yesterday. Still counts as a start.
There you go. Hey, he's fine with it. He gets to pitch in the next 5 days. That's going to do it for the CHGO White Sox postgame show. Thank you to Vinnie Duber, our CHGO White Sox beat writer. Again, you can read his work at allchgo.com. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already, and subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. That's Herb Lawrence, our CHGO White Sox community leader. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me at Sean_W_Anderson. You can follow Herb at EctorWall23. Hit that thumbs up button. Thank you to Sarah for producing our show, and we'll talk to you tomorrow after the 1:10 game as the Sox and Rangers wrap up their 3-game series. We'll talk to you then. Goodbye.
We all silly like the mayor.